Page 65, harmonization. We're going to harmonize some more. We're going to put chords with melodies and stuff. Fortunately, they're telling us the chords. It's like lead sheets. They give you the melody and the chords, and you get to improvise the rest of the stuff. Right now, we're not really improvising too much. We're just doing chords. I'm sure they'll get to improvising a little bit later. So let's look this over. First thing we need to do is make sure we can play this melody okay. The first one, just the melody, just the right hand. There's one flat. We're in the key of F major, so all the B's are going to be B flat, and it's in common time or 4/4 time. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and B flat. 1 and 2 and, get that? Okay. So once I can do the melody okay, now I'm going to do the chords. I'm just going to play each chord in its root position. Its root position is like, it's every other note, and the bottom note identifies the chord. Because I can turn them around. I could put here, it's still the same chord, or here, whichever. But we'll just use root position here. And I don't know where to put them. The first one they give you is here. And then the next one is an E flat chord. And then an F chord. And another F chord. Just do the, keep using the same chord that they give you another one. So in that third measure, it's an F chord. And then E flat chord, and then a C chord. And F, E flat, F, F, E flat, C, F. So those are the chords we're using. Now I know what the chords are. Now I'll do it and see what it sounds like with the melody. Here, 1 and 2. 1 and 2. If you wanted to take it a little bit further, just for kicks and giggles, because you got nothing else to do, instead of moving this left hand around all the time, rearrange the notes so your hand can stay pretty much in the same place. So the F is here, but for the B flat, well, for the B flat, you can actually go here. If you'd figure it different, you're just reaching down. So you're not really changing. So that would work there if you wanted to. Then at the end of the line for the C chord, because an E flat to C, rather than here, I'm going to put the C on top. I'm staying in this area. Here, because the F was here, I just here. So I'm here to here to here. It's the same chord, I just didn't move around. So try that. To test it, because sometimes these inversions, these other arrangements don't sound all that good. So you test them and see. If the C works well there, that's okay. And that's another way of doing it. So you're not moving around so much. Do it both ways. Stay in root all over, and also just try this other thing where you know. Let's look at the second one. Make sure I can do the melody. Now this is in 3 sharps or A major. So the C's, the F's, and the G sharps, but we're in this position, so all we have to deal with the A sharp for the right hand. And it's 3/8 time. So the 8th note gets a count, but there's 3 of them. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So I get the melody. Okay. And then I get the chords. Well, we got an A major chord. They get the first one. Then they want a G chord, back to the A chord, then an E chord. That's what we want to check. Then a D chord, E chord, A chord. Okay, now let's try it with a melody and see what the whole mess sounds like. Here, it's an A chord at the beginning, and then a G chord, and then an A chord again. E chord now, down here, and the second line it's an A chord, and then a D chord, and then an E chord, and an A chord. So, okay. okay. They sort of sound okay. That's what it says. It works. Okay. Of course, it's best to get rid of the hesitation so it kind of flows, but I'm not really concerned about that. I just want to hear the harmony and all. And again, you can use root on all of these, whichever, or if you can, rearrange the notes slightly so your hand stays in about the same position. So the A, if I want to go to the G, well, that's just down one. I can do that. That's fine. I didn't move very far. A, but then when I go to the E here, I don't want to go down here, but if I put the E on top, I'm there. I'm here to here. All I did was here. These go down. And you can finger it this way if you'd rather. I don't care how you finger it. I'm more interested in what the notes are. So A to E is here. And then A, and then a D, instead of this, I'm going to go, if I put the F, I put the A on the bottom. Here. But so A, so that's a D chord with an A on the bottom, here. So I went from the E chord here to here. So I go from the A chord to the D chord here. I don't care how you finger it. I don't like being up in here, so I typically finger these so I can stay out here. But you can finger that up here if you want. That's fine. And then the E chord, just come down here. You know, it's an E chord, I put the E on top. That's all. So I don't move as far. And then A. That way I'm not moving around. Well, try with a melody. Does it sound okay? Because sometimes these inversions don't fit. So it's here. And G is here. E. Okay, and then an A, and then a D chord, and then an E chord, and an A. That seemed to work okay. Those inversions sound okay. You just got to get to where you can play it kind of comfortably without the hesitation and enjoy it, because right now it's very mechanical. So you get to where you can kind of feel your way around, and you get to where you can make these other little changes in the left hand without even looking at the keyboard. You have a feel of where these keys are. Eventually. That's the key word, eventually. Because eventually, there's that word again, you want to get to where you can do something besides block chords. You want to improvise and do other things to them. I'm not going to bother with it until they get bother with it, because we got enough to deal with already. But some things to think about.